right, welcome everybody to the actual Tuesday orientation. I want to welcome everybody that has a chance to plug in from the UK and all throughout Europe. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to you from wherever you are. My name is Christopher Kim. I'm actually plugging in from Southern California here in the United States. I'm a national director here. And wow, what a great experience we had this past week. I had a chance to go on one of the Riman retreats. We just got back from Costa Rica. What an amazing experience that is. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you, you got to take advantage of these trips. You need to go there. You need to experience what this is all about. And when you go there with your team, the camaraderie that you make, the memories that you make, and another newfound affirmation to build success towards your career. It was such an amazing experience. And so with that said, I come to you recharged. And I get to kick off the orientation today, and I'm going to talk about the Riman retreats, what's going to happen in Europe, and how you guys could all take advantage of that. So, with that said, we're going to jump right into this. Welcome to the orientation call from Europe and the UK. I believe we're getting started at 6 p.m. UK time. So here we go with the Riman orientation. So the orientation agenda, I'm going to cover four major parts. We're going to talk about welcoming the new person to Riman, the support system, how to properly launch your business, and some few announcements coming your way. But when it comes to really talking about the Remon concept, what it is that we really do, this is something called a platform. It's a platform where we could share unique individual products with a compelling story, a compelling product, where if we share, if the product is good, if it works, it's going to network on its own. So the philosophy of Remon really is what it says: rethinking, reimagining, and redefining. Remon actually means second chance at life, the rebirth of a new version of yourself. And you can do that here financially or even physically with beautiful skin. So the philosophy is clean living, clean products, a healthy new way of making money in the new world, in the digital world. Obviously, products are important. What we put on our body matters. What's inside the product matters. We're all about clean, honest products. Obviously, price point matters. When our chairman developed these products, he could have sold it for hundreds of millions of dollars. He could have priced it at maybe $400 or $500 for the EX cream, but he didn't. He decided he wanted the whole world to be able to access this, and that's why it has the nickname affordable luxury. It's at a very, very affordable price where you get high quality ingredients that will actually change your skin. Obviously, you got to have a plan in place. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. In life, you must have a plan. You know, I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson. I've watched the Michael Jackson movie about 4 times now because I went with my wife, and then my kids got FOMO. Another kid didn't want to watch it, and then we watched it again, and we watched it again, and then we watched it again. But there's a special saying when they talk about Michael Jackson's dad, Joe Jackson, right? He says, when Michael Jackson's a kid, he says, "In this life, there are winners and losers." And he pretty much says there's really nothing in between, right? And that all starts with having a plan. If you have a plan and you follow that plan, you can be somewhere that you desire to be. It's all about making plans, right? And obviously, the last part is people. This is all about building a community. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Take advantage of these amazing products as well. All right, so we're going to cover Remon.com. Obviously, we are in a time where brick and mortar has switched to click and order, right? So obviously, I'm going to fly through this. Remon.com, you can enroll distributors, customers, products. You can manage your whole business. But the way I could teach this is log on and go check it out. Go through it, do the motion, act as if, check your orders, see what customers can come in through the portal, what shopping bags are. You just got to fiddle with it in order for you to learn it, right? So I'm gonna trust that you're gonna go in, log in, and learn really how the back office works. All right, so let's talk about the drive. A lot of times I get a lot of calls, Chris, what about this? What about the ingredients? How can I get, remember, if you just take maybe 10 minutes to window shop and go to the drive, okay? So if you go into your back office or your shop, if you click that little tab, it'll have the drive on the side tab. If you go there, you're going to find everything you need, every database of products, marketing, schedules, promotions, tools. Everything you need is in here, right? From ABC 1, 2, 3. Make sure you go to the drive and check it out. All right. So if you go to the drive, everything is going to be downloadable. Obviously, if you see, it's categorized for the skincare ICD, the makeup, the personal care with Lab, Lifening, promotions, and events. So I strongly recommend checking out tools and promotions. This is the latest up to date, what is happening and how to be in the know with the Riman community. All right. Okay. So let's talk about launching your business. But before we do that, there's actually a special individual that I would like to bring up. This individual has been making strides and has been seeing some major results with the product. So with that said, there's a special individual that I like to bring up. Miss Gail Whitworth, are you on the call here? Let me see. Let me find you. Um, yes, you are right here. Found you. We have an amazing testimony from Miss Gail Whitworth. She has been seeing amazing results. Miss Gail, are you here? Let me see. Do we have you, Miss Gail? Hold on. I think you're gonna have to unmute. Do we have you, Miss Gail?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the
Can you hear
call.
me?
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Tell us your story. We know you have an amazing testimony. We've seen you've been getting great results. Please tell us your story.
Okay, so last year I went through, well, I was in hospital for quite a long time, and 6 weeks in total. I had to have life-saving surgery, so I was quite poorly. And what happened was I lost a lot of my hair and my skin got really bad as well. Um, and from then on, I lost a bit. I lost a lot of confidence in the way I was looking, how I felt about myself. And yeah, I was looking for something to help with my skin. Um, and then I just came across Riman like recently. So I would say, well, about 4 weeks ago. And I started on the products, and within 7 days, I got some amazing results. So I just, yeah, the dryness had gone. I had rosacea like all on my nose and not my cheeks. And I think my skin was quite dehydrated, to be fair, it's quite dry. And yeah, within 7 days, it's given me so much more confidence as well. I've seen a massive difference. And people have been saying to me as well, what have you been doing? I've not been putting makeup on much either. I don't wear a lot of makeup anyway, but yeah, I haven't been putting any foundation on for the last few days. And yeah, people at work are just, you've got to bring in your products. So I took my products in on Monday, yesterday. Yeah, so yeah, I feel so much more confident. It's mad.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your story, Miss Gail.
It's
There's gonna
okay.
be so many more like these kind of stories. All you gotta do is just try the product, let the product work, and if the product works, it's going to network. Thank you so much for your special time, giving us your testimony and actually your product journey. But actually, when I see Miss Gail's before and after, this is a 7 day result. As you can see, she suffered from severe dehydration. You can see rosacea on her cheeks. Now, also along the chin line. And as you can see, this is just 7 days of usage and it is starting to heal. It is starting to die down. The swelling is dying down and the rosacea is being addressed. Obviously, healthier looking skin, hydration, smoother texture, and obviously confidence that walks with that smile. Thank you so much for your amazing testimony, Miss Gail. We look forward to seeing many more testimonies from everybody in the UK and the European Union as well. All right, so let's talk about launching your business. In this business, it's very important to stay close to the fire. When you're cold, you got to get close to the fire. What I mean is, this business is easy to do and easy not to do. And that is why it is so important to set goals. Goal setting is one of the most important things of this business, right? For short-term goals, it's important to set short-term and long-term goals because your goals are going to change as you do this business. As you start hitting your goals, you're going to want to attain new goals, right? So in the short term, you're going to need to set some goals. Maybe hurry up and be a senior manager and lock in your 30% lifetime payout, right? Lifetime pay position, or maybe become a team leader. But in the long-term goal, maybe set your eyes on director, senior director, national director. Okay. Another thing I want to challenge you to do is find your purpose. What is your why? Why are you doing this business? Another question I would like to ask you is, does your why make you cry? You have to have something so strong, near and dear to your heart that any obstacle coming your way, you're not willing to give up. Okay. What I mean is, if you have a loving child stuck in a house in a burning fire, really, does the how matter? No, it doesn't. The why is most important. Same thing. If you're trying to hit a goal, right? How you do it doesn't really matter, right? Riman is a vehicle that could help us to get to a place we want to go a little faster, right? But if your why is strong, the how becomes easy. You get what I mean? Think about it. If you're 3 meetings away from getting your goals and delivering for the person you love, what would you do to get through those 3 meetings, right? Even if it's a no, right? If you knew after the third no, you're going to get a yes, even if it's discouraging, knowing you're going to get a yes and you can hit the results that you want, would you do it? Yes. That's the kind of why you need to find the why that's about to make you cry because it's so important. When you have these goals, when you have these short-term, long-term goals and you implement your why, you become unstoppable. Okay. So make sure you find your short-term, long-term goal and find the reason why you do it. For me, it was for my loved ones, right? My loved ones were in a very tough spot. They all needed help, and I needed to become the hero for my family. You should become a hero for your family. All right, so let's talk about the senior manager game plan. See, to become a senior manager, it requires about 90 days, 3 months of accumulative volume to 6,000. But the reality of the matter is, it could be done in a day, it could be done in 2 weeks, it could be done in a month, right? But the most important thing is setting a goal date and then writing down the actual achievement date. If you do this, it's going to be a mental exercise that's going to help you reach your goals even faster. Okay. When you set a goal date, that's when you're motivated, right? But the actual achievement date is the actual measure and the temperature of how much effort you actually put in. And if you can actually be honest with yourself and measure that actual amount of energy and work you put in, you're going to know exactly how much amount of effort it'll take to become a senior manager, a team leader, director, and so forth. So make sure you take on this challenge, write your goal date when you want to hit it, and make sure you log your achievement date. Okay, so remember, from planner to manager, it's 3,000, but from manager to senior manager, it's an additional 3,000 for a total of 6,000. Usually, senior manager is the most highly achieved rank in our business, right? So it's not that hard to do. All you need to do is figure out how much time investment you're going to put in to become a senior manager as soon as possible. All right. So to be a senior manager, obviously, um, there's many ways you can do it, right? You can do 2,000 SP per month for 3 months, or you can do 6,000 SP in one shot or in 3 months. But personal orders, personal customer, every way and any way that you can accrue SP, you could become a senior manager as long as you finish 6,000 SP. Also, you need 3 active customers to actually activate the position. Also, when you become a senior manager, you're going to be able to lock in a base pay of 25 base commission on what you buy or sell, and an additional 5% on the SM group open line. Now, I know a lot of people get confused on the SM open group, but that's kind of like how team leaders get paid, but on a more minuscule level. So I would say senior managers are kind of like baby team leaders, right? So pretty much this 5%, what that is when I'm a senior manager and beyond my level 1, from level 2 and on, any leg that doesn't have a senior manager, again, let me reiterate that any leg that doesn't have a senior manager where those transactions are happening, I get 5% on every transaction from level 2 and beyond where there is no senior manager. That's kind of similar how a team leader gets paid. Obviously, for what you buy or sell, you get 12.5% cash rebate, 12.5% Remon dollars, and the additional SM Open Group rebate for senior manager. So this is how senior manager works. Obviously, if you lock in your 1,000 SP for the month, you're going to unlock 4 levels of uni level. And obviously, we talk about a differential payout, right? So on the left, what you see is 30 to 40%. That's what you're going to get as selling customers. So whatever you sell to your customers, based on the customer program and the compensation plan, you can make anywhere from 30 to 40% on what you sell or buy yourself. Now, if I have a planner, remember a planner makes 10% and I make 20. So that difference of 20 and the difference of 20% will roll up to me as a senior manager. Now, if I have a manager, that manager is making 20% and I make 30%. So that difference in 10% is going to roll up to me. Now, if I have a senior manager, which is the same rank as me, we would typically call that a generation pay of 5% that will get paid out to the senior manager. All right, so let's talk about the team leader game plan, right? In reality, okay? I want you to set your sights on becoming a director for your long-term goal, not a team leader. Did you hear what I said? In reality, for all of our leaders on the call, I want you to set a long-term goal to be a director, not a team leader. Your short-term goal should be within the top producing senior manager to team leader, and your long-term goal should be director. Because the truth of the matter is, which I will get into this later as we break this part of the training down, you need to be a master of creating senior managers to become a national director. That's how this business works. It's called boil the bottom philosophy. In order for you to have hot water, you need to boil the bottom first in order for the heat to rise to the top. That's kind of how rank advancements work here. So if you look at any team leader, what the reason why they became a team leader is because they mastered duplicating senior managers. And if you do that long enough in 3 legs and 4 legs, you end up as a director, right? So the most important part here for you to remember as a leader is mastering how to create a senior manager. In order to do that, you need to become one yourself, all right? So team leader, obviously, it requires 50,000 SP in your 5 most recent calendar months. You need 3 senior managers in 3 separate legs. Obviously, I want you to write a goal date and your achievement date. Team leaders make 40% to 50% on what they buy or sell. Okay, so team leader qualification, you're going to need 10,000 SP per month for the next 5 months in order to hit team leader, or 50,000 SP in any 5 month, recent 5 month, rolling 5 months. You do need 3 senior managers in 3 separate legs, and your total group, maximum 50% from one group, meaning in order to be a team leader, you need 50,000. One leg, you can only count 25,000 per leg to qualify. Okay, so commission release qualifications, you need 5 active customers. Okay, so what's in it for a team leader, right? Team leaders get paid unlimited levels in team leader groups at a 40% base commission, and this is where the 3 generation leadership matching bonuses come in, and the uni level 6 levels all start to unlock. Now, this is where it's kind of crazy, right? So wherever the transactions are happening between planner, manager, and senior manager, remember, they're all getting paid and calculated on their level ones only. So if there's a planner, manager, senior manager, they're all calculating based on level 1 payouts. So whatever is left over outside of the 30%, it could be 15%, 20%, 30%, whatever is left over in the entire downline on that transaction, everything rolls up to the team leader. That's why open line is so important, and that's how team leaders make majority of the big commissions. Okay, obviously, for top retailer bonus, it's going to give you that extra 10% on what you buy or sell. Personal order rebate program, you get 20% cash rebate and 20% Riman dollar rebates. Obviously, as a team leader, you unlock all 6 levels of uni level, and your 3 generations of matching bonuses will kick in. Now, this picture explains it all, okay? To create one senior manager, it requires 6,000 SP. In order for me to be a team leader, plain and simple, I'm going to need about 9 senior managers. So remember, the meat of the move, compensation plan drives behavior. What is the comp plan requiring me to do? They're telling me to become a senior manager factory. Duplicate and master creating senior managers, and you will be a national director. That's exactly what Mr. Timothy Her and I did in the beginning. We started with 5 people. We didn't come with a group. But we sat down and we calculated how many senior managers it's going to take to become a team leader, director, senior director, and national director. Okay. The easiest way to break it down is senior manager factory. Focus on creating as many people hitting their 6,000 SP. All right. Again, duplication of senior managers is the fastest way to become a team leader. All right. So let's talk about committing to your plan. Okay. The most important word here is action. Action. Okay. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is Google. Okay. Knowledge is not power anymore. Action is power. Action on that knowledge is power. Schedule your 2K pop-ups. Write down your first and second date. I can't stress this enough. Okay. When you start your K pop-up, don't make it too complicated. You don't need catering. None of that. Make it easy, super simple, nimble, and duplicatable. Okay. Speed and exposure is all I want. Okay. Today at 10 a.m. in Southern California and 6 p.m. in the UK, and maybe 5 p.m. over in Spain, wherever my business is at one particular time, I'm looking at my back office calculating how many K-pops are going around in every market. Okay, that's the important thing. But in order to do that, you must do it first. Lead from the front, lead by example. Because when you do a K-pop up, it is not about how good you are. It is about learning the process and the actual mechanism of why a K-pop is happening. Number one, everybody can do a K-pop up and anybody can succeed if you do the work. The reason why I want you to schedule a first and second date, you need to know what happens in a K-pop up. You need to know how to enroll somebody. You need experience signing somebody up. You need experience getting some no's so you know how to um re-answer rebuttals, right? You need to know how to make a retail sale. It's not just about getting results, okay? If you're just looking to get results and hurry up and be a team leader, I guarantee you're going to quit or retire probably next month, okay? This is about growth, learning the business, rinse and repeat, and creating a business that'll self-perpetuate sales, okay? In order to do that, schedule those 2K pop-ups, learn the business. Third one, make a list. Okay. If you're not going to make a list, don't expect to be successful. You must make a list. Your list is your ammunition going to war. Okay. Don't prejudge anybody. Okay. Let them make a decision for themselves. Why? Because the people you think that will probably won't, and the people you think that won't, they absolutely will. Okay. Create your product and business story. Look at all these before and afters, right? Everybody, people from all walks of life, red, brown, yellow, black, and white. We are precious in His sight. Everybody can do it. Why? Because we all participate in double cleanse, nourish, hydrate, and protection. So make sure you guys create your business story. That is the first step in recruiting. Change your face, change your finances. Like Miss Gail talked about, people said, "What did you do to your face? What did you do? You look so different, right?" What does that mean? She is a walking billboard. She is a catalyst to start that conversation to talk about Riman. All right, events to attend. Make sure you guys attend every Riman revealed presentation and orientation date. This is not just about you or your new people learning, but you need to habitually be on these programs so you learn how to train as well. Eventually, you know how we talk about speed and exposure? One day, you're going to wake up with massive momentum. It just takes one person with the right list that knew the right type of people, and you're going to get massive momentum, right? Now, when that moment happens, the person that was prepared, the person that was at the orientations and the presentations taking notes, they're going to be able to successfully launch a new team once momentum hits, right? This is not just about you learning, take notes so that you can be able to present, you can be able to train the orientation and launch your team as needed. Team events, first training date, convention date, guys, make a commitment to your success. 90% of success is showing up. Why? Because these events are designed to transfer emotion. And when you're ready to receive, you are going to be able to see the bigger picture, right? There's a gentleman that used to be Jackie Kennedy's second husband, his Onassis, right? He was one of the richest men, I believe, in the 60s and 70s. And what he said was, what Onassis said was, before he became wealthy, what he used to do is he would go to very, very elite country clubs and go sit in the bar and the restaurant all day, because he said successful and affluent people, their vision, their energy, their minds have all been expanded to the max capacity. And he was there to get that energy and that influence and have that aura rub on him. This stuff is absolutely real. Make a decision. Make a declaration. I told you I was a Michael Jackson fan. Did you know Michael Jackson? He had notes everywhere on the wall. I am the greatest. I am the most greatest entertainer of all. I'm going to be the best. I'm the GOAT. He had this affirmation everywhere, even to the day he died. Like, they found those notes, right? So remember, it is absolutely important to make a declaration what day you're going to be there, what training date, and obviously the convention date, guys. All right. So let's just talk about starter kits. I know that these are past, but here's what I want to talk about when it comes to starter kits. Okay. Every month we have different starter kits, but here's the truth of the matter. Okay. If somebody is starting at a 300 SP kit, they're not really equipped to build a business. Did you hear that? They're not really equipped to build a business. Why? Because you can't really build a business with one set, right? Because You need the entire set to get the glass skin, right? Then you have your sister or your brother or your daughter using parts of it, borrowing it, you're chasing them down, and then you want to go do a K-pop up or a WoW part. It's not going to work, okay? Now, the reason why I strong now get in where you fit in, if you can upgrade, do it. Get in where you fit in. Now, at least 1000 SP and above is what I recommend because you'll leave no money on the table. Now, when I tell somebody about this, I manage the expectation that we're running a business, not you're buying $1,000 worth of product that you're going to hold, and I don't know how long it's going to take for me to use it. Okay. A lot of times that clarification in itself will help you get a newfound recommitment from your partners. Okay. They have to know how to make a sale. They have to know how to enroll customers. They have to know how the sequence of the product works for themselves. And they have to know how to demo to people to recruit and build out a business. But here's the key. If you can have everybody come in at least at the 1000 SP, guess what? Everybody's going to trigger their uni level pay from the day one they come in. Do you get what I mean? You're gonna trigger an extra 10% payout to that person. But if you can duplicate this, you're gonna trigger an extra 10% payout to your entire organization, meaning it's gonna be a higher payout to you and your team. Okay. And your team will be well equipped to build a business. All right. So obviously, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Riman retreats coming up because in Europe and the UK, qualified planners, they are going to be invited to Monaco. But remember, it is absolutely important to go on these Riman retreats. I had so many people. Now, this is regardless of rank. This is from accruing points. But I've had so many people regret not trying harder to fight tooth and nail to get their team here. It becomes a magical moment when you go on these retreats because you get to go through a new experience. But my goodness, the company is going to spoil you. You guys need to be here. Remember, it's the transfer of emotion that is going to ignite momentum in your business. So here are the qualifications as follows for Monaco. You need 1,000 travel points for tier one, 1,500 travel points for tier two, but you're going to get a $500 reimbursement. Now, when you get to tier three, 2,500 travel points, you get to invite a significant other, a guest, and you're going to get $1,000 reimbursement and 3,000 travel points. You're going to land in tier four for a trip for two and a $2,000 airfare reimbursement. This is going to be a promotion throughout the year. Obviously, you're going to be able to earn travel points through customer orders, 100 SP, max 5 travel points per customer. Monthly performance, obviously, for team leaders, for maintaining 10,000 SP, you get 40 travel points. You do double, you're going to get double those. Same thing for director at 100,000 SP, you're going to get 100 travel points. For rank advancing to manager is 20 travel points. Senior manager, 50 travel points. Team leader, 200 travel points. Director, 500 travel points. Senior director, 750 travel points. And national director, 1,000 travel points, knocking it out all in one. Also, there will be special promotions with travel points attached throughout the year from conventions, special promos, product drops, and things like that. And also, on a leadership standpoint, for anybody that you personally frontline sponsor and help them become a senior manager, you're going to be given an extra 30 travel points in doing so. So, also, for anybody that becomes a director in 2027, we will be heading over to Dubai and doing it in style in fall 2027. Tier one will be for a trip for two with a $2,000 reimbursement. Tier two will be a trip for two with a $4,000 reimbursement. And tier three will be for a trip for two with a $10,000 airfare reimbursement and hotel upgrade. Talk about United Emirates, right? We got to fly Emirates. All right, so how to qualify? Tier one, a new director or a director that achieved the qualification 3 times. Senior director plus maintaining senior director qualification 3 times. And a new national director plus national director qualification 3 times. And these are the SPs as follows, right? For director open group, 1 million SP. Senior director open group, 3 million SP. National director open group, 5 million SP, and the tiers open as we go. So this is how you qualify. We will see you at the next Riman retreats. And as you know, as a system, every Tuesday we have our orientation and Thursdays we have our Riman revealed. Make sure you guys promote this. Do not be an announcer, promote it. Make sure you give them a call. Be a little bit adamant that they get on because, these types of meetings are what can help change people's lives. All it takes is just one word, one saying for an aha moment or a light bulb to click on, and next thing you know, they're on fire. All right. So with that said, my Riman orientation section is final and complete, and I will be going over the next segment of training. So this orientation is actually for new people, people that just got started, that are looking to be in the know. They want to understand what it is. But the most important thing here, as I talked about becoming a senior manager, talking about speed and exposure today, I'm going to be training on actually how to effectively do a presentation. Very, very super simple and easy, and just knowing the selling points of how to do an effective presentation. Okay, so I'm gonna really dive into this, and it's gonna be about how to present. But the most important thing I want to reiterate is, um, when I train this, you don't have to do it to a T. Take what you like and make it yours. Okay. So I'm not telling you to become Chris Kim. You be you, but and make it yours and do it to the best of your ability. But what I want to reiterate is, everybody on the call today, when you do a presentation, just remember this, okay? They will never remember how good you were. Did you hear what I said? They're not going to remember how good you were. So don't worry about it. Just have fun with it. Don't be so self-conscious. They're not going to remember. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. By nature, it's because we're all selfish. Okay, we're selfish. I'm not thinking of you. I'm thinking of me in that moment. What's in it for me? Is this real? And can I really do it? Okay. So just remember, have posture, confidence. It's not going to matter. They'll probably remember how you made them feel. Okay. So just make them feel good and just have fun with it. All right. So I'm going to go over really the selling points of really how to do this. So it's easy for you, right? Because, a lot of times we just run through the motion, but it's the selling points that leave a lasting impression in someone's mind. Okay. So most important thing is have posture. Posture is everything, because facts tell and stories sell. Most people will not remember how you did or didn't do. They only remember how they felt. Is it real? And what's in it for me? Okay. This is the absolute truth. Okay. When a car salesman is trying to sell you a car, okay, you might remember they may have been pushy or calling you often, but you're not going to remember any of that. All you remember is my monthly payment. What was the test drive like? And can I pull this off? Am I going to be able to buy this car? Right? At the end, that's all that matters. It's the same thing every single time. Okay. So when we get into the Riemann presentation, okay, we go through the bullet points, but what I like to highlight the most is the number one rated K beauty part, right? A lot of people, when I say that, they ask, okay, so if it's number one, how are they number one, right? I get this question all the time. But remember, when it comes to being number one, it's a very vague category in reality, because there's a lot of sectors for number one, right? Most sold units, most popular, most trending. There's so many categories, but what we were number one rated K beauty was the most individual units sold in volume amounts. And we are still number one in the most units of volume of products sold. And also, we are the largest exported K-beauty brand. So we got the number one title in 2024 and 2025 as the number one exported K-beauty brand in all of Korea. Okay, so when we talk about 40 million bottles sold, it doesn't seem like a lot, right? When we say 40 million, because if you sell 40 million bottles in China, it doesn't really mean anything. Or if you sell 40 million bottles in India, it doesn't mean anything in a population of 1 billion people plus, right? However, what is compelling is, remember, in Korea, South Korea, okay, there's North Korea, South Korea. South Korea, they only have 50 million people, and 40 million bought the bottle. That means 95% of the population used it, and there is product awareness about this, right? That is not because of a trend or something went viral. That is because there was a newfound technology that people started getting really excited about. Okay. So when we do the international expansion, what I like to touch upon is we specifically chose the top 10 largest K-beauty import countries as we started to choose the global expansion. So these are some of the highlights that you can mention as you start to present. Also, when it comes to meeting our brands, I like to keep it super simple. Obviously, this part, there are some highlights to remember, okay? So, when I talk about these three parts are the most important parts. Okay, but the plant and the water part is easy. Okay, that part is easy, right? We got our own plant. Everybody knows it. Plant-based Korean skincare, and then the lava water, right? Some people in America call it juju water, but it's like a known special thing, right? But when we get to nanoliposomal technology, that's where you lose everybody. It's just kind of one year out the other. They're just like, okay, I was like that too. I was guilty too, right? Now, but here's what you have to understand. Explaining this third part is what's going to compel somebody. I want to try the product. You got to explain this part. This is the most important part. Okay. Now, again, this part, everybody knows it. Byungpool, everybody knows it. Tiger grass, right? These are all the products throughout the world. It has multiple names: Madeca, Centella asiatica, tiger grass, right? So we all know this, right? Patent pended. This is an easy story to pitch, right? Obviously, the water, right? This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We have a 20-year exclusive rights. United Nations are here, 4 places in the world, right? These are some of the selling points you want to talk about. But this part right here, okay, is the most important part. So what nanoliposomal technology is it's a technology that's been around for over 30 years, right? And now we're starting to implement it in skincare and even our foods, okay? Certain nutrition. But what it is it's a machine that creates a serum or a lotion or a substance that becomes transdermal. They make it nano size, 250 times smaller than one hair follicle. Okay. So it's supposed to penetrate the skin immediately, becoming partially transdermal. So this microfluidizer is used to make numbing cream, testosterone cream, cortisol cream, steroid cream. Like if your child gets eczema, they put steroid, the doctor prescribes you steroid cream, you rub it on. What that does is it penetrates the skin barrier and goes into the body where the blood cells and the skin cells are. It penetrates. So what we did is we took Mother Nature's ingredients and modern science and took the best of both worlds and made a fusion. This is why 90% of the entire Korean population bought it. When they got wind of the delivery system, that's why. Because think about it, right? Our skincare product is called ICD. You know that, right? We all know it's ICD, right? Incel derm. It means into the cellular level of your dermis. That's literally the meaning of our brand. So our brand literally means skin penetration. So the moment it touches your skin, bam, hydrates. So when you talk about glass skin, the dewy glass skin, it's not a chemical reaction. What you're seeing is the reflection of the water of the actual hydrated skin cell itself. That's what you're seeing. A medical, a medical, um, a medical healing that is actually being shown under the skin. Okay. And that's why this thing became big. This is what is the game changer. This is called DDS, drug delivery system. Okay. So we took the natural water and the live, not dehydrated, the live Byungpool extract, and we lightly microfluidize it. So the moment it touches your skin, bam. So here's another disclaimer I want to tell you, ladies. Okay. I know most of the time it's hard to get a woman to go run to the bathroom and remove makeup and come and do a skincare experience at a Starbucks. Girl, it ain't happening. Shrimmy, you down to do it? You and I, let's go. I'm gonna take you to the bathroom, right? Erase your makeup. That ain't happening, right? But here's what I do. When I go to a Starbucks, okay, whether it's a woman or a man, I spray it on their hand, the actual booster. Remember, the booster serum and the dermatology cream, those three are the actual microfluidized product. Before that, it's the double cleansing and the preparation. So you have a perfect canvas so the microfluidized can go in, right? But at a Starbucks, I'll do it here. And yes, you'll get glass skin here. They'll see it right away. But it's important to explain this part. The moment it touches your skin, it's going to penetrate and hydrate from within immediately. And that is why it is such a big deal. Okay. So this is why from seed to bottle, we own everything. Okay. So remember, when we talk about Riman campus, okay, for those of you in Europe, someday soon you're going to go to Jeju. Remember that island, the entire east side of the entire island is all lava energy water. Okay. It's all because this entire island was created from lava rock, right? So what we did is where the actual lava water is, we built our campus around the water center itself. So we have our lab, We have our smart farm. We have our solar panels. When you go there, you're going to be able to see everything. Okay. So this is actually what we have. We don't white label. We don't do any of that. Okay. So we actually have our own smart farm. It's an AI powered smart farm. The actual temperature of the water, the actual mineralization, the soil, all of it is measured, right? This is built and by engineers from the Netherlands. Why I tout that is Netherlands is #1 in the world for indoor smart farm technology. Okay. Obviously, once you become a director, you also have a chance to visit Riman Village. We talk about this. The best experience, the best explanation I can give is like imagine going to the North Pole to meet Santa Claus. It's literally like that kind of an explanation because like to get to Riman Village, it's like out of the way somewhere far, right? You're gonna fly to Korea and then go to an island, right? And you hear about this mystical place with some magic plant, right? Same thing, right? You hear about this magical place where there's reindeers, right? And then you go there, you see it for yourself, you see the operation, bam, you're sold. You know this is real. And the rest of the world hasn't even seen it. That's how you know, right? This is why we explained this in our presentation. Okay.
Jeju
Obviously,
Island,
this
the
commercial right
birthplace.
here, that is a refreshed commercial. But the reason why we tout that is because as we made our new designs, obviously we partnered with Ms. Paula Shear and Frederick Bertin, who are the head of the Louis Vuitton Moet and Hennessy Corporation for Accord Parfums. These people are legacy people. But again, documentation beats the conversation. If it's good enough for Paula Shear, good enough for Frederick Bertin, it's probably good enough for us too, right? Documentation beats the conversation. Okay. Also, when we talk about the ICD part, all I say over and over is German Dermatest certification, German Dermatest certification, German Dermatest. Why? That means it's clean. Think about it. What I explained, microfluidization, going into the dermis, penetration transdermally. That means if you're putting this on your skin, you must and only can use clean ingredients. Think about that. If I used harsh ingredients, it's going to destroy your skin the moment it touches you, right? So it's like self-perpetuated proof in itself, right? Like if it penetrates the skin and it heals from within, if you talk the talk, it should walk the walk, right? So we got the German Dermatest certification. This is the gold standard. Most skincare products cannot get this, okay? Obviously, it's derived from Byungpool and lava water, and we microfluidize it from the booster serum and the dermatology cream. Now, the ICD, this original one, this is a water-based skincare, and the Radiantsum is an oil-based skincare. So just remember that's the difference. Okay. Obviously, when it comes to the ICD makeup, right? A lot of people outside of the Asia market have asked me, what about undertones? What about colors? Well, Rimon's commitment to localization for US, UK, EU markets has been in the works. Okay. So obviously, we took a lot of insight from Miss Paula Shear with this design. She did all of the makeup design. But the truth of the matter is, we did all of our marketing in West Hollywood True Beauty Studio. This is where Kylie Jenner, Jessica Alba, a lot of celebrities actually do their photo shoots over here. But what we want to do is K beauty that is going to be localized to every market, right? When it comes to even African American, maybe Indian people, Latin American people, there are undertones and dark shades, and that is something the company has committed to. Obviously into the European market as well. So stay tuned. We're actually excited. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you this, but since you guys are committed and on the call at the Costa Rica event, we had an announcement. Okay, we are going to be soon coming out with hair growing mascara. You heard that right. Deserti Cola powered hair growing mascara. We also have a mascara serum. We have eyeliners. We have lip liners, and we have all these new shades coming out. It's gonna get exciting, right? Because I know the ladies understand this, right? Skincare is like the appetizer, okay? It's exciting, but it's hard to show that unless you do it yourself and see the change and feel that emotion. But when we get to makeup, ladies, all you ladies know it's going to be prime time. All the ladies know that's where it's at. That's what everybody's interested in. That's what we want. And we have skin care, skin repair, healing technology, K Beauty makeup coming your way. So the anticipation is hot. Obviously, when we talk about the Boda Lab, okay, I know we have limited products, but this is something easy to know, great to know as we get into it. But our Bodo Lab products are not just vegan, but it's one line higher, which is a V line. So we're one line even stricter than the vegan line. So this is very safe. But pretty much our Deserti Cola, it's known to regrow hair naturally. And the body wash, it's called Swamel Body Care because ladies, here's the scam, okay? All these years you've been washing your body, you've been hurting yourself because it is toxic, right? Because when you wash off all the dirty stuff and the grime and the sweat and the dead skin, you're not just washing that off, you're washing off your natural microbiome as well because of harsh chemicals, right? And when you get rid of that film on your skin, that becomes susceptible to like bad chemicals, hormone disruption, cancer, and things like that, right? But this, it removes everything bad and leaves the natural microbiome intact. Obviously, these are going to be coming soon. Nutraceuticals is going to take a while because it's something we consume, but this has been a big hot topic. It is a detox product where it hits your gut and it pushes everything out. This has to do with beauty from the inside out because it has to do with skin. A lot of ladies with skin problems along the jawline, that has to do with your gut, and this will actually fix it. And there's also a beauty collagen that's going to be coming your way soon. Look out for that. Now, let's kind of jump into the comp plan, okay? Now, when it comes to the comp plan, I know a lot of people get scared, a little nervous, and don't want to talk about it. And that's okay. Do it where you're at. Be comfortable because your job is not to be a mathematician, break down compensation plan, and talk about percentages, okay? You don't have to do that, okay? I don't even do that, okay? But my job here, remember, is to make them have a paradigm shift. If you help them get an aha moment, a paradigm shift like, yeah, you're right, then you've done your job, okay? Don't A lot of people will be intimidated and not even want to do a presentation because they don't want to talk about the comp plan. That's okay. I was like that too, but there's a way to do it, okay? So for here, all I talk about on this slide, like you've heard it millions of times, the traditional way and then a new way to do business, right? And what we say is the money we would spend in marketing and trying to push product, we're cutting out the middleman and we're going to pay you to market it directly through word of mouth because word of mouth referral is the strongest way of advertising and marketing, right? So a major change in worldview, maybe a concept or a practice of how something works or is accomplished, right? So the end in goal is to help somebody see maybe a different way to do it, okay? Our job isn't to convince. Now, when we get to here, all I like to say is we have 6 ways of getting paid, but I don't know much, but I was told comp plan drives behavior. So if we look, this is where we're going to get paid most, okay? 54%, right? But remember, this is the easiest way to do the business, the easiest way to make money. They're paying the most. Share the product. Maybe someone can experience it, make a sale, and help them reorder. It's that simple. Why? Because your job isn't to be a salesman and convince them, okay? I'm equipping you on how to do the presentation, but the reality is the product is going to do the hard work, okay? Because here's the truth. The first sale isn't a for real sale. Did you hear me? Your first sale is not a real sale. It's a sale on trust because you asked them to help you or because they love you and they wanted to support you. If you don't get a second sale, that means the product is not that great. If you get a second sale, just know you're going to get a third and fourth sale as well because they came on their own will. And if the product is that good, it's going to do that. So don't make this analysis paralysis. Just have fun with it, easy. And if you don't know, just say, hey, it's a little complicating. All I focus is on some of these parts because it pays well. The other parts, we can learn it as we go. Okay. I always do that. Even if somebody introduces me as a national director or whatever, I don't go deep and get too fancy. I just keep it super simple. Okay. Now, when we get to this part, I just usually talk about the planner, manager, senior manager, director, and really the pay rank, right? That's all I really talk about, right? Anywhere from 10%, 20 to 30%. And when they say, well, what are all these? Well, these are extra bonuses as your team starts to grow. You just master these things and more bonuses are just going to start to get tacked on as we go, as we go, as we go. But if you want to learn more, get on the orientation because they're going to show you how to be a manager, senior manager, team leader. Remember, it's all about promoting. It's not what you say, it's how you say it because you're not going to teach somebody and make them understand in one sit down anyway, right? So promote the next event. promote the next event, get them to that next event, and more information is going to give them more conviction and trust to make an educated decision. Okay. So I keep this super simple. I talk about the ranks. I talk about planners make 10, managers 20, 30. All this stuff, I keep it very simple. Maybe, oh, this is how you become a planner. And then I move on, right? Now, when we get to matching bonuses, right? All I say is this, right? This concept is a very unique way of getting paid. Like, in a regular job, you work just enough not to get fired and they pay you just enough so you don't quit. But here it's a different total mechanism. I don't get paid till you get paid. I don't get promoted till you get promoted, right? And I go on to say, if I become a team leader and promote another team leader and I help them make an X amount of money, the company's going to match me 40%. And all the way to the third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation, sixth generation, right? So pretty much how to understand this is from a team leader and on is when you start participating here, right? And you get paid percentages on your next team leaders, a percentage of what they make. It's very simple, right? But imagine if you had 10 legs and every leg had 3 team leaders, right? That's how the money starts to get big. So remember, this part is on generation, right? So you up to 3 generations. So your first cousin, second cousin, third cousin team leader. Think of it like that in every single team that you build. Okay. Keep it simple. You don't have to break it down all the way. A lot of times people don't understand it. They're not going to understand it. So, even if you don't understand it, just have a gist of it, go through the motion. And here's the crazy part. This hard part too, if you keep doing it over and over and over, you yourself will get an aha moment and you'll start to get it. Trust me, just do it because people aren't going to remember how good you explain numbers. They're only going to remember how you make them felt, how the product did, and if they can really do it, what's in it for me. Have confidence, okay? Now, understand that this is how we make money. There is long-term and now money. So when we talk about long-term and now money, just explain, remember, the now money is the retail sale, okay? The team building and um the uni level. Those parts are going to be your now money, right? So all you need to focus on is those 3 activities, right? The what you buy or sell, the team building, and your uni level structure. Those 3. You do those 3, the other 3 parts are going to pay you. Okay. Obviously, as we move along, now when we get to the starter kits, obviously, here's how I like to explain it, right? I give them a disclosure. Get in where you fit in comfortably. Ain't nobody judging, okay? Because how you become successful in this business is not about what pack you buy. It is important because how you start is what's going to duplicate. However, everybody has circumstances, and the most important part is your commitment and your time investment. That's all we really, um, that's how we kind of like rate the business based on someone's time investment, right? Now, if you get in at 300, again, I'm going to explain 300 is great, but you're going to be a great K Beauty glass skin customer because you can't really build a big business, right? Like I explained in the orientation, you have to give them this disclosure. You can get started at 300, great. I'll take it. If that's what it takes, that's great. Why? Because it's not about really what you buy, it's about your time investment that we want too, right? To build out something, right? However, working hard versus working smart are 2 different things, right? Again, like I said, right? The uni level, let me go back to this, right? So you guys know too, but if I go to the pay plan, right? The uni level part, right? At the uni level part, right? At level 1 already, right? Actually, planners make 5% too, actually. That was updated. But at uni level, at the uni level, when someone comes in at 1,000 SP from the beginning, a planner unlocks their uni level, they scoop up an extra 10% coming in from the jump on top of their 10% pay. So they're pretty much at 20% pay if they're just willing to come in at the 1,000 SP. And remember, all boats rise with the tide. So if you create a duplication platform for people to all come in at 1,000 SP, your whole organization is taking advantage of 10% more payout on the pay plan as well. Okay. So again, but then you have 30 days to upgrade, get in where you fit in, 1,000 SP, 1,500 SP, all the way to you could buy 4 1,500 SPs and become even a senior manager yourself. So remember, it's all about getting started where you fit in. Okay. So this week's training is done. Pretty much my training part here is done. But what I wanted to kind of go over with you is the orientation part is for the new person, right? For the new person to get information. If you've been in this business for a while, still get on the orientation because, a lot of the leaders will tell you when momentum hits, it doesn't happen when you want it to or when you're ready. It comes out of nowhere. When the right person, like it's like the stars align, right? You recruited the right person that had a lot of contacts, had great relationships, had great credibility, and is a natural leader that everybody follows, right? You find one good person like that, they're gonna bring in 30, 40 people easily in 2 weeks. Okay. When you start getting momentum like that, let's just say you signed up 50 people today from 3 wild parties. What are you gonna do tomorrow? You signed them up yesterday and it's today. What do you do now? I don't know. I don't know either, right? That's why you need a program. That's why you need to know how to do the orientation, right? If you get massive momentum and you're a senior manager on the verge of becoming a team leader, and you brought in one person that brought in another person, and that person was a superstar, and you start seeing momentum, you need to know how to launch a K pop up right away, how to do the orientation, and how to start launching these presentations, right? How do you do that? Keep getting on every single orientation presentation. Learn it, learn it, learn it, and make it yours. And guess what? Once you learn it and master it, there are no new things to learn. Did you know that? There are no new things to learn. About 2 months in, I learned how to do this business. I didn't learn anything new. I just met new people. Think about it. I could wear the same suit for a month and nobody will know I did that. Why? Because the people I'm sitting in front of keep changing. You get what I mean? So make a commitment, be on the presentation, be on the orientation, master this repetition. Once you learn this, you could be successful in any market you go. Okay, guys. So with that said, I want to thank you so much for your undying participation, your commitment to the market. I'll be back in the UK, Spain, and the Europe markets. In the next 60 days or so. I look forward to meeting everybody. I know I had a chance to meet everybody at the Arc in UK and spend some time in Manchester. Man, Europe is beautiful, man. I got to travel all throughout Europe during the summer with my family, but coming back to Spain and the UK, it just lit a new excitement in me because, I know like the UK, the EU, it's a sleeping giant right now. And when the right deal comes in, we're going to have massive momentum. So the leaders on the call that are preparing, when opportunity and preparation meets, that's when success happens. So I want to thank you guys for being here. Your time commitment matters. It is important. Thank you. We will see you on the next opportunity call. I believe top producing director, Mr. Rodrigo Alverde, is going to be doing the opportunity call, and we will see you on the next call. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. God bless.